Hello and welcome to my channel. It's Hila here, Saturday Night Stitch, and thank you so much for tuning in. Today's post is a browse through of the Burda July issue, and I have here for you some really lovely flowers from my July garden. These ones are new to me this year. These ones are called Canterbury Bells, which I started growing last year. They are a perennial and they have been so good. As you can see, they have these really lovely big flowers. I have white ones, purple ones, and pink ones, and they're just so beautiful. And if you're lucky, you'll get more than one flower on one stem, and it's just gorgeous. And I have loads of daisies. I'm absolutely having a daisy deluge at the moment, and I have this really lovely heirloom rose. I think it's called the Queen Elizabeth, but it's a rambling rose, and it's really beautiful, and it's pink. As you know, I do love pink. So wherever you are in the world, I am sending you these Canterbury bells, daisies, and lovely rambling roses. So let's have a look at what we have in the July issue. So let's grab our line drawings. Okay, and we're just going to get the pattern sheets out because I have already traced out a pattern from this. I know what I want to make from this, and I'll be making something from it. So here we go. Let's just pop the flowers over here so you can see a little bit of them. I love flowers. You can tell July is one of my favorite months because in England we have loads of flowers. Okay, so here we go with our Burda issue here. They went with a very warm tone on the English issue. So I am browsing through the English issue. And if you are new to Burda, the thing to be aware of is that when they say 185 patterns, what they actually are referencing is all of the different sizes. So if we look at this black pattern line, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different sizes ranging from probably a 36 to a 42, and they count each of these as one separate pattern, which I think is a little bit dicey personally, because you're very unlikely to be using all of these patterns. So yeah, you're not actually getting 185, you are getting, you know, a little bit less than that. But let's dive into this lovely issue here. I do apologize for the lighting. It is a slightly colder day today, and so we are quite cloudy over here. We start off with all of the styles at a glance, and we have some lovely summery pastel looking outfits here. So very lovely, makes me feel quite happy. Loads of pinks. And then we have the trend of summer in pastel, which is July, so of course we've got to have a lot of summery stuff. And so we start off with a very simple denim skirt. And I call it denim because I really struggle to think what other fabric would work really well with this sort of skirt. So you've got that yoke that has a bit of the curving in there to accommodate the bum, and then you've got the pockets. The only thing is with this one, it doesn't have a faux fly front, which sometimes denim skirts do, but it looks for all intents and purposes like a denim skirt, and it's been made in white denim. I'm not a particularly big fan of the soft autumn colors that they have used here, but I do understand that they can't always be going with the cool undertone colors that work for me. And then over here we've got some shorts, because of course summer we're going to need to have some shorts. Very simple shorts that have a bit of a flare here, as you can tell from over there. So making these in a jersey and drawstring. I'm not particularly looking to make that sort of shorts this time round, but I will talk about that later on. And then we have a really cute mod style shift dress with a lovely square neckline. I do love a square neckline, and this one has got this added little U shape detail on here, right? Can you see that with the top stitching? And I have to say, I'm in two minds about this. I think you have to put in a huge amount of structuring to make sure that this bit here where it's got that U shape, to make sure that it doesn't sort of come away from the body, which can easily happen. Personally, I would just love it if it was just like that without that little dip in there. I think it's a little bit unnecessary. I would love to make it a little bit more retro by using a solid color on this bit here, and I think that it could be a lot of fun. So this was one of those that I did put a star on as a potential future make. And then we move on over here to, it's quite cute. It really is quite cute, and it caught my eye during the browse through. Not a big fan of the photo shoot that they did here because the photographer worked with the reflection, and you can see palm trees in the reflection, but it's sort of messing up the image of this. So I don't, I could go on and on about why these things are important, but I'll probably do that in another video. But anyway, let's stick with the line drawings, because we know that the line drawings are very important because they walk us through the construction processes, and they allow us as seamstresses to be able to build the picture in our heads before we go into cutting the fabric. So here we've got a two-piece set that I do think is quite adorable. Okay, so I'm just gonna have both of them. So we have the skirt here, which is sort of a wrap skirt with some buttons along this side. It does have some shaping that you can see from the dots there, and it will probably have a facing on the inside. And then we've got a cute cropped jacket with some really cutesy, very impractical pockets though. I mean, I can't think of what would fit in these pockets except for pennies. Anything else would look too bulky and that would ruin the design line, but really cute. I would call them more ornamental. And it's quite minimalist in the sense that it doesn't have any lapels or anything else like that. So a very clean neckline. And I do think that this looks really adorable. I love how they've used the covered buttons on it. And I'm not sure where I would wear something like this personally. And I have to say though that I'm not a big fan of how they've styled it, because the model here, she's wearing a long sleeved top underneath, and then she's got the cropped thing. I wouldn't be wearing this with the long sleeved. I'd be wearing it with a cami. So you'd have your silk cami sort of peeking out over here, and you'd go bare arms in it because it's July. It's July. It's a very warm month, even here in the northern hemisphere, so you kind of don't need that. But I did think that this is really quite cute. Perhaps a wedding guest outfit. This dress I think is a perfect sort of summer dress. I do think that it would work really well with a wide range of fabrics, your voiles, your tannelons, your viscose. In a viscose, it would just be absolutely lovely and drapey. What I would personally add to it, just to, and this is me nitpicking here, I would probably just add an elasticated cuff here. Yeah, just so that you're able to roll up the sleeves to add to its practicality. As it is, these sorts of sleeves, you'd sort of have to, do that rolling up where you sort of make the folds and you make the folds and you make the folds. But personally, I prefer it to be very easy to be able to just pull it up. So I think that would work with it, but beautiful, beautiful. And it's got sort of an empire line, so you have some lovely drape that would work really well with your lovely drapey fabrics. And then we have some shorts. Now these shorts, I've definitely seen them before. I think it was a 2020 issue, an April 2020 issue, but it's basically a thick waistband, hip yoke pockets, some pleating, and they sort of flare out a bit, so very airy, allows a breeze to come through. I love the detail of making a matching belt that they have done on here. Always really lovely. Making a matching belt just adds a level of elevation that you don't get otherwise. And then we have a beach coverall over here, which is more like a penguin style. I call it penguin style when they do this sort of thing that curves right in and you have an oval. Sort of reminds me of penguins. Personally, I wouldn't make this as a beach coverall because I think it's a lot of work making this little cute little neckline here. And the neckline, this sort of neckline is supposed to go really up against the neck itself. So not necessary, I don't think, for something that's supposed to be as easy to wear as coverall. So when I actually saw the line drawing for this, when I first saw it, I actually pictured this as something that I would wear maybe with some leggings or some capri pants and just have it as a flowing tunic. Be curious to see whether this is going to be a popular one, but I do like the cuffing that you have there on thing. And then we have this dress that absolutely caught my eye because it's a maxi dress, right? I'm a little bit silly like that. You put a maxi dress in front of me and I'm a goner. So Empire line, some bust shaping here, really thick straps and tiered skirt. So I love it. Reminds me a lot of one of my favorite Giselle maxi dresses. This one, however, it's got these tie strappy Duma jiggies over there, which much as I love the look of them, I know that in practical life for me, these just do not work. I cannot have flippy floppies around my shoulders. My shoulders, I always need things to just be nice and trim. So when I make this, because I'm fairly confident it's the sort of thing that I'll definitely make in summer. It looks very easy to put together as well because it's just the bulk of it is just gathering with the skirts here. I will definitely be skipping the bows over here because my shoulders are bulky enough to not require further enhancements with some bows, but really, really pretty. And I quite like the high contrast fabric that they used with it over there, you know. And even though you can kind of see how that would look on here, they've used a lighter weight fabric, so it doesn't quite, in the picture, if you look in the line drawing, I suppose if you use a more stable fabric, you could add some more bulk here, although this is not looking too bad. But to me, it would just be untidy. Just looking at that, it just looks a little bit untidy. So we just skip that and make it a nice, decent strap. And also, I'm the sort of person that I could see myself accidentally pulling the strap of this when I think I'm pulling my bag away, and goodness knows me, I'm very, very scared of things that could cause potential wardrobe malfunctions. Okay, and then we have a dress that is very similar to something that I have made, which was from a March 2019 issue. But it's a very simple style jersey dress. And the front has got a higher neck and then the back has got a lower neck. I have the one that I made. I will put a picture of it so that you can see it, but it's very similar at all. And I'll try and link down below some of the alternative patterns in case you're not particularly interested in buying this issue, but you want to make this and you can go through your older issues. But yeah, very, very simple, straightforward, useful sort of thing to have. And then we've got some sponsored content here from where they did the photo shoot, a lovely hotel somewhere. And we've also got some patterns for making some travel bags. And then the mini wrap skirt is the sewing lesson on here. As you can see, we've got the facings for that. So yeah, that's pretty cool. And then here we have a golfing section wherein we've got some men's shorts. Okay, so I quite like these. They've got an elasticated back, right? So you can really get it fitted in without having to worry about a belt. And it's got the hip yoke pockets. This is, I'm pretty sure, yeah, it's got a fly front over here, and then you have to use a hook and eye to finish it off over there. And this is what I have traced out. So I've already traced this out because I want to make a pair of shorts for my husband because he needs a pair of shorts. And yeah, so I will be talking about this in another video where I will talk through the project, but it looks to be quite a great pattern, I think. And there is another one of these. It's also in Burda 4 2016. These particular shorts as well, so they are available. And then we have some gilet, which I have to be honest, having seen a few, probably only one golf match, I don't think I've ever really noticed them wearing gilets so much, but I do think that a gilet could be very useful, particularly in autumn. I'm not sure it's something that I would ever make for summer, but it looks lovely and pretty in pink over there. And then continuing with the sporting theme, which I must say to anybody else who's been buying these magazines for a long time, how surprising is it to actually have athleisure wear or athletic-y stuff in the July issue? I'm used to seeing it in the January. Is it just me? I was a bit surprised when I saw this. Do let me know in the comments about this. What do you think? Should we be changing the athletics wear, the workout wear from the January, the traditional January issue, to July? And let me know. Okay, so moving on, we've got top number 126, which is very similar to a top from January 2019, I think. And I made a top like this, except for the one that was in that issue. It had a zipper front over here. And then these were straps that went in like that. So you didn't have one piece on here. So you can see there was a zipper over there, and then it was straps. And I wore this to death. I absolutely wore it to death because I luckily came across a really great sporting fabric, which was in a remnant bin. And I've never since come across sporting fabric that was quite like that. It was that sort that would wick away your moisture. So I got tons of wear out of this one. This was a really banging. It was a banging pattern, but it worked really well because I got the right fabric for it for the purpose. And we've got some shorts again with a gigantic statement elastic. So very simple running shorts. And then we've got some running gear over here in the form of leggings with a decorative seam going down the side and contoured waist, which I do find that leggings that have this thick contoured waist are way more comfortable, and they work so much better, particularly when you do things like yoga or Pilates, because they don't drag down and show bits that you don't want to show. So really high-waisted ones are so much better. I had to learn that the hard way, so putting that out. And then we've got a jacket here, which again, I've seen this recently. I have seen this recently. So close crew neckline, a zipper, loads and loads of drawstrings. My goodness me, so many drawstrings on here. And I don't think that these are so practical, having so many drawstrings, particularly around the hands. And I'm the sort of person that I just jump. Whenever anything just sort of brushes against me, I jump. And I can't imagine having to have all this on your hands, and they'll get wet whenever you have to wash your hands. No, it's lovely without the drawstrings on the wrist cuffs over here. Okay, and then we have some hiking gear over here, family hiking gear. So this is one of the few Burda issues that actually had women's wear, men's wear, and children's wear, which is pretty cool. So we just have some simple cargo pants here, which I've also made a note of because my third son, who's starting high school in September, I've got 3 kids in high school now, is going to be needing some cargo pants. And we also have the grown-up cargo pants, which is basically an extension of the shorts pattern. So it's very similar. When I was tracing it out, it's literally the same pattern piece, and you just have to glue on the bottom bit. But yeah, so if I wanted to make my husband some cargo pants as well, I do have half of the pattern already there. And then we have this top over here. Sorry about that. I seem to have lost the line drawing for this, but it's a very simple drop shoulder top here, which looks very comfortable to wear. You could make this in a viscose challis, nice and drapey, and it would work. And then we've got, I want to call them treggings because they seem to be a mix between trousers and leggings. And the fabric recommendation, it says recommended fabric is technical elastic. All right, I haven't come across technical elastic fabric yet, so let's hope. So I think you'd need to have some stretch in it, obviously, because it's so close fitting, and it does have a very weirdly located pocket where you put in your phone, and it reminds me of how the god Zeus bored Dionysus, the wine god, by growing him in his thigh. And yeah, anyway. And then we also have walking, which is to do with active holiday and cycling. So I'm just going to skip through. So that's all of the sewing patterns at a glance, which is very helpful to have. I like to make copies of this, and I put the line drawings just in a folder by themselves because it makes it easier for me sometimes when I just feel like shopping for a project by looking at line drawings. And then we've got the really cut off leggings here, but made into cycling shorts. So again, they're quite useful when they are much higher waisted. So looking at this, it does seem to be slightly lower waisted than the line drawing would indicate. I would basically make a toile with a stretchy fabric that you don't care about, just to get an idea of where this is going to land, and then maybe add an inch or two, because honestly, when you're being so active, it's so much better when your leggings are, the waist of the leggings are really, really high up. It reduces a lot of time wasted just yanking them back into position. We've got the cycling top here, which, oh, it's on the other page. That's what it was. Because they insert this right in the middle, it's sort of like the editorial is broken. But here we go, simple top there, made in a jersey, and you add a zipper, which is not a lot of fun to add zippers to jersey, personally speaking. So I probably would skip that. And then we've got the skirt over the trouser top, which is, to me, a great tennis outfit. So again, very simple. And then we have a tennis skirt. Who remembers playing tennis back in high school, and you had to wear the tennis skirts that you pinned over to the side? My school color was a navy blue one with the pleats. You know, so yeah, so this just gave me bits of nostalgia. Absolutely bits of nostalgia. And then we've got the beach holiday covered as well with some Bermuda shorts for the boys, with a simple pocket at the back and two hip yokes at the front, and then some drawstrings. Not a big fan of the drawstring personally on kids shorts, because they either always tie a knot so badly that you can't untie it. So when I make shorts, of which I've just recently made a batch of 8 shorts, which are very similar to this, but from Otobri kids magazine, I've actually done the thicker elastic rather than doing a drawstring. But that's what I've learned over the years from sewing for kids, is that, you know, things that have to do with tying knots, especially when they insist that they want to tie the knots themselves. And then we've got some Nivea sponsored content over here. Fantastic. And then we've got the shorts again from the beginning, simple shorts made in a lovely viscose crepe over here. Yeah, polyester visor viscose. I mean, I wouldn't make these shorts in polyester because you need a breathable fabric, really. But this could be a good scraps project. Okay. And then we've got swimming. I found this to be a little bit confusing at first, because when I first saw this, I thought it was a top. I didn't realize that it was a swimming tank top, right? And I thought, oh, it's got all of these frills. Why are you going to need all of these frills when you're swimming? You're just increasing your drag unnecessarily. So a little bit unnecessary. Okay. And then we have the new business look, right? Now, it's been a while since I've worked in a corporate environment. The last job that I did before I quit to raise my family was in academia, but I was in business management, and you still kind of had an expectation to dress in a businessy kind of way. So it would range from business casual all the way to proper business formal when you had conferences or you were presenting your research. And I must say, never once would I have thought that this could be a new business look. It's a cropped sweater with ties at the side. And that's what it looks like. And yeah, I just have to say that this is a miss for me in terms of it being a business look. I feel like this would work in a Pilates or a yoga class, but for business, no. I gotta say, tell me, what are your thoughts about this? Do you think that this could be the new business look, or should we definitely keep business as business and Pilates yoga wear as yoga wear? And then we have a variation of a top that we've seen before, and it's this one with the drop shoulder and what looks like an epaulette to go with it over here. Well, it's supposed to be an easy pattern, so it might be interesting because of the easiness. And then we have some culottes with a curved slit at the side here. And again, this is being put as modern business wear. I think if they hadn't made it in this lightweight fabric, because when we look at this lightweight fabric, number one, it's wrinkly. Number two, it's not holding structure. I don't think that this particular fabric works for it. Make it in, say, maybe a light gray worsted wool fabric, because worsted wool is much cooler than your normal wool because it's a finer weave, so you can get away with wearing it in summer. I think that would look more appropriate, but for me this looks like you're going out to chill with your girlfriends, and you're going to have some mimosas and some daiquiris, which I've never done before, but I've seen it being done in a lot of films and a lot of TV shows. And then we have a hero piece, which is the statement jacket with the welt pockets over here, lapels. I don't think you can ever go wrong with blazer. Sorry, my bad. A blazer. Statement blazers are always the way to go. I love the pink fabric that they've used on here. It's got some jacquard swells on it, and I think that this looks nice. This is modern business that I could do, except for I'd probably pick my own neutrals, but I think that this works. You know, you're still making a statement and you are still being unique and individual. And then we have a cropped top, and I honestly don't think that cropped tops have any, they should be in a business environment, particularly a serious business environment. This doesn't work. And I'm not being cynical or anything like that, but I think the fact that this is a cropped top has something to do with why this, the take they've done for this particular top is where she's sitting, because you can't actually see where this is falling on her. I just, yeah. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comments down below. And then we have this really simply delightful dress, which I think is so utterly charming in its simplicity. And I think that this does work in a business environment. So it's very simple empire line. It's not too fitted, so it's quite it's semi-fitted is what I would say. There is some bust shaping over there, and you have the V neckline over here, and it just, I think that this would look lovely in whatever fabric you decide to make it in. And it's just, it hits the knee length, which I think is okay for business. And certainly when I was having to go to places where, because sometimes we had to deal with companies that we were trying to get to be involved in the research that we're doing, and you went to meet with them. There was a dress code. You had to dress professionally, and part of it included the length of your skirt. Really, it was considered unprofessional for it to be above your knee, basically. And that was because my particular area was operations management, and that would have involved a lot of walking around, seeing the factory floors, etc. And so it just wasn't practical for you to be wearing something that would be so short and all that. It just wasn't. But I do think that this one is quite a lovely and practical one. So this is another one that's, if I do have some extra time, I would make this one. Okay, we have an athletic style jacket, and it's supposed to be going into business. And without sounding like a broken record, again, we have the issue of these danglies coming over here, and you're just trying to do stuff. You're trying to type, and you've got the danglies. Trying to make a coffee, get it from the coffee maker, and you've got the danglies. It just, yeah, keep things separate. Okay, and then we have a sheath dress, which has featured in a wedding issue. I think it was March 2018, but it was in a blue Q-Pro. And I know because I actually traced this pattern out back in the day when I didn't learn about Kibi, the Kibi image IDs. And I used to think that I could carry off something like this, which doesn't suit me. This would suit a classic I would say. Dramatic classic maybe, but me with my mostly soft gamine, this doesn't work on me. But I do have this traced out already, but they've done it in an olive green, which is a nice departure, and it's got like this lovely ruching over here, which would be so suitable for others out there. But yeah, I was quite excited when I saw this because I was like, I know that one, I know that. And there's another really lovely 1960s style dress here with a high empire line and a v-neck. This one has been done before in a May 2018 issue, I think. And in it, they did it so beautifully because they used blocking on there. And then it had some lovely trim on here. So yeah, this is a good one. This was a popular pattern, and I can see why they're, you know, repeating it. But I think that this time they've made it go up to size 44. I don't think before it was going up to a size 44. I may be wrong. And then we have that denim skirt again over here, except for it's been made in a jacquard fabric, according to here, the fabric that they talk about. And it is lovely. And I quite love the elegant, subdued elegance feel of this. You've got the skirt and you've got the belt and the cami top and the cardigan. I think that this is an excellent example of a harmonious outfit, and the coloring suits her as well, because I understand sometimes they obviously don't necessarily have the ability to dictate that we want a cool toned model to go with the cool toned clothes that we've made. So sometimes there's a little bit of that clash. But here it's just harmonious because she's clearly a warm undertone and everything just looks together. I like it sometimes when Burda actually sort of get everything right like this, because not only am I getting sewing inspiration, but I'm also getting styling and fashion inspiration. And this is something that I could actually wear in my day-to-day life. I could wear this for when I'm going to school run or when I'm doing stuff. And I like that. I really do like that. So I thought that this issue was a reasonably good issue. It didn't disappoint, I think, for an August issue. And I think in the past, August issues have always done really quite well. So this is what we have here with this Burda 7 2023. Let me know what you think in the comments box down below. Are you going to be making anything from this issue? Have you already made something from this issue? Is there anything that I have missed? Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't already, please do subscribe. It really helps the channel. Smash the like buttons, and I will see you in the comments box down below. And until I see you next time, keep well and happy sewing. Bye.